going to see introduction to AOSP. Android is nothing but the open source operating system that is used in mobile devices, your automotive vehicles, TVs, wearables, etc. And AOSP is nothing but a open source project led by the Google. There are many layers. The base layer is Linux kernel, the HAL, Android runtime. Then we have the native libraries that are written in C and C++. Then Android framework that is written in Java, and on top of that there are applications that can be written in Java or Kotlin. The Android framework or and the native libraries, they are nothing but the mediator between the applications and the lower layer like HAL or your Linux kernel. This is the link for the source code of Android. I'll just show you. And yeah, you can go through different topics such as security and core topics. Then compatibility. Android devices is also there. For automotive there is different. And for reference you can have the document. For going to the source code you can go over here. You can see this is the repo, this is the branch, main branch. You can check out the branches over here. And then if you want to check for any particular model you can search for it over here, like system UI or system updater over here. Like this you can search for the classes and the modules and work.
Let's quickly have a look at the system.
Then let's add for environment setup.
Let's quickly have a look at the system requirements to set up an AOSP build environment. A 64-bit system is required to build AOSP.
What are the requirements? Hardware requirement. 64-bit environment, at least 250 GB of free disk. For code, is 150 GB more for build. And third is at least 16 GB of RAM. What is software requirement? Ubuntu. 64-bit.
As a side note, in case if you don't have a 64-bit machine, you can also build an older Android version before Gingerbird in a 32-bit machine. You need at least 250 GB to check out the code and another extra 150 GB to build it. So overall you need 400 GB of disk space to download and build AOSP. So before downloading and building AOSP, make sure you have 400 GB disk space. I would also recommend using an SSD hard disk since it could significantly increase your disk I/O performance, and that has a huge impact on the overall performance. Also, please note that if you want to build multiple flavors of Android, you would need more space for each build. Say for example, you are building multiple variants of mobile platform. So in that case, you will need another extra 150 GB for each build variant. So at least 16 GB of RAM is required, and Google recommends 64 GB, but I guess 16 or 32 GB also should be just fine. That's from my personal experience. I'm using a system with 16 core and 32 GB RAM. It takes approximately around 1 hour 20 minutes to complete the entire build. Google is saying that they are using 72 core machines with 64 GB of RAM, which takes about 40 minutes for a complete build. That's seriously a top end machine. But of course, you can build AOSP in a lower end system. The only drawback is that you have more waiting hours for the build to complete. Another option which you could consider in case if you don't have a powerful machine, is to have a high-end machine in the cloud and do the build there. That's pretty cheaper. Check out this link, Ubuntu on AWS. So here you have a lot of cheaper options where you can get a 64 core machines say for 1 hour and use it for the build purpose and then shut it down. So the link of this web URL is attached in the description. So now software requirements. As per Google, the only OS supported as of now is Ubuntu. So in the past, before Android 12, Mac OS was supported. But I guess since Apple switched to ARM architecture, it's no more officially supported. I have once built AOSP 11 in Mac M1 with half success. I have attached the video link here. In case if you are interested, please have a look. Let's get started. Let's get started with AOSP build. In this tutorial, we are going to cover 3 topics. First one is setting up a build environment. second one is to download the AOSP source code, and the third one is to build the source code. And finally, starting the emulator and have a quick walkthrough. Before we start with the AOSP download process, we need to install a few packages to support the AOSP download and build process. Let's head to source.android.com, which is our absolute AOSP truth. I am now in source.android.com. So basically we need to simply run these commands, the sudo apt get install commands to install these packages. So these packages are needed for downloading and building AOSP system. So based on your OS, like if you have Ubuntu 18.04, then you have to use this command. And if you have Ubuntu 14.04, then this one, and so on with 12.04, 10.04, 10.10, and 11.10. Okay. So in my case, I am using Ubuntu 20.04.2 LTS. So I am using the same sudo apt install commands. Required for 18.04. So even if you have the latest Ubuntu, still these install commands should be sufficient. Okay, so in case if you have an older one, please use any of these, and if you have 18.04 or above, use these apt install commands. Okay, so let's copy this and open up a terminal window. We simply go ahead and paste it. Okay, enter. So you need your password. So in my case, many of these packages are already installed. I guess there will be only a few things which will get updated. Yeah, it seems to be updating something. Let's see. It's done. So now I have installed all those required packages. Let's get started with the AOSP build. In this tutorial, see, it's done. So now I have installed all those required packages. Let's So our next step is to install repo. So repo is nothing but a wrapper on top of Git. So this is created by Google to make the AOSP source code management a little bit better. So in case if you don't know what Git or repo is, just keep in mind that they are source code management tools. So these tools help us to manage the source code and track the changes of your project. So to download repo, now let's head to source.android.com. We need to basically execute these commands as we did earlier. So this command will install repo from the official package available in the Linux distribution. So in case if this doesn't work, you could directly download repo using the curl command. Okay, so let's try this command first. So this is pretty straightforward. Let's paste it. So now install repo. So I have got a problem, unable to locate repo. So now let's head back to source.android.com. Now let's try the second method. So in this method we are just using the curl command. So this basically downloads repo tools from this server. So this curl command is basically to download or download something from an external server. Okay, so let's execute this now. Just copy this first line. Okay, copy curl 1. Yeah, looks fine. And set up some receiver key. Key receive failed. Server indicated a failure. So while installing repo, I ran into a problem. So I was not able to install repo by using this method. So here the repo is not actually available in the repository for 20.04.2 version. Okay, so if you have an Ubuntu version which is 18.04 or prior to that, you will not have this problem, so you should be able to install the repo. But unfortunately, in the latest Ubuntu version, you don't have a repo available in the Ubuntu repositories, so these commands will not work for you if you have the latest Ubuntu. Okay, so even in my case, I was not even able to install repo like this because I was receiving issues while trying to receive this particular key using gpg command. Okay, so these two methods were actually not working for me, but I was able to find a different solution for that, which is pretty simple. I'll quickly show you that. So here is the solution. So first, basically you need to simply pull repo into bin repo folder. Okay, like this. So if you run it for the first time, it will download it, and then after that, so these two methods were actually not working for me, but I was able to find a different solution for that, which is pretty simple. I'll quickly show you that. So here is the solution. So first, basically you need to simply pull repo into bin repo folder. Okay, like this. So if you run it for the first time, it will download it, and then after that, just change the permission by using the chmod command like this. Okay, and then you can check the version, and you should find the version if it is installed successfully. So in my case, I have already installed 2.17. so this is applicable only in case if you have the latest Ubuntu, but if you have the older version of Ubuntu, whatever commands mentioned in the source.android.com should be fine. Now let's go ahead and download the source code. So for that, first we need to create a directory. For that, I will switch back to the terminal and create a directory first. Okay, let's get into that directory. So I am now inside that. Now let's configure git username. So now similarly we set the email. So I'm done with the git initialization. So now the next step is actually to initialize the repo. So we are going to download one particular branch. So we should use this second command. So I'll just copy this part. and just paste it over here. And our branch, we are going to pick up the 12 branch, latest one, that we should pick it up from this stack from here. So we'll take the latest and just enter. So and just enter. So it's from here. So we'll take the latest, that we should pick it up from this stack. From here. So we'll take the latest and just enter. So it's downloading the it's basically initializing the repository. So this will be pretty fast, and after that we need to run repos sync, which will actually download the repository. So I think this will be done in another couple of minutes. Yeah, so the repo is now initialized. So now we need to just type repo sync. So here you can give the number of the logical cores you have got, and this is going to take a lot of time. I guess at least 1 hour it will take, and depending upon your machine and the internet connection, it's going to take the time accordingly. So once this is done, we will go ahead and build the repo. So that will again take another 1.5 hours, I guess. So in total, you would need at least 3 to 4 hours to download the source and build it. Okay. Now let's go. Let's build the phone emulator.
Hi guys, I voted.